Hello and welcome back to Pokemon Emerald. In the last part we were clearing out the new routes we have finally gone to. I didn't even check my lead to Pokemon, but I did just heal off screen, so it's not that big of a deal. Overall, I want to go over the two other new Pokemon you can get from the Good Rod, which I've already explained way more. You can pretty much find it almost everywhere, basically. But when it comes to the two new ones, these are kind of specific locations you have to find them. Carvanha is the first one I'm going to talk about. You can find it while fishing on Route 118, which we just saw it. I mean, we'll be going back to it pretty fast. We're done with this route, so we'll be going back to it. But you have to fish there, or Route 119 is pretty rare, actually. But it evolves at level 30, and you should find it around early 20s at the lowest. Or maybe you could find it even lower, but you can wait out for an early 20 if you really want. Nothing here? Really? Whatevs. But when it comes... I already checked this, didn't I? Did I? Nope. Or yes? Maybe. But when it comes to Carvanha, Carvanha is a water dark type. Evolves relatively early in comparison to some of the other Pokemon that we're going to run up against pretty soon. And one of the things that really sucks is that it is primarily supposed to be a physical attacker. It has a 120 attack or thereabout. I think it's 120. That sounds right. And it's made to be a glass cannon. It's very frail overall. I believe it has 15 or 20 in defenses. Oh, I didn't fight you? Huh. But it's very frail. And then it evolves a Sharpedo and doesn't get much better. It's a very glass cannon Pokemon. And people usually say that it's not very good in this generation because the physical special split has not happened and Water Dark are both special. The thing is though, Sharpedo still has a very respectable stat for special attack of 95. It's not as great as 120 or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure it's 120. If I'm wrong, just ignore 120. But it's around there. So it's not as good, of course, but it does get access to Surf at this point. It also learns Crunch at level 22. You're talking about two of its big money moves right off the bat. It has decent speed, and overall, it's probably one of the better Dark types you're going to get in this game. It's basically a better Mightyena, in my opinion. Though it doesn't have the ability of Intimidate, which is very nice, but overall, Carvanha is actually very good. Oh, come on. We have to battle again. Okay, thank you. But when it comes to Carvanha, I can actually really recommend it. It's not my favorite water type in the region, but it's actually a very good dark type, and that's what kind of sets it apart. So, yeah, I could recommend it. The other one is Barboach. I think the only place you can get is the water next to the Windstreet house. I'm pretty sure that's the only water you can get. I think there might be another spot, but I don't know. And Barboach is basically just... I'm going to be perfectly honest here. Yeah, you can't cycle here. I'll actually explain what this is in a second. But, yeah, he just explained it. The Mimic Circle, they move how you move, and it's hard to sometimes fight them, but we're just going to fight them anyway. But Barboach is basically a mini Swampert. And once it evolves into Wishcash at level 30, it's still a mini Swampert in my opinion. Basically, if you didn't pick up a Mudkip when you started, and you still love the Water Ground type because it is a really good type, then you want to pick this up. It's very tanky. It has decent attacking stats of 78, 76, even though Swampert has better attacking stats, of course. I think it does have 10 more HP than Swampert does, which is cool. Earthquake is learned really early. I believe as a Barboach is learned, if you wait from evolving, it's level 31. And if you let it evolve, I know it's 36. So that means you can get a very early Earthquake with it, which is very good. And it also gets access to Surf at this point, which, I mean, Surf. Also, you could give it Ice Beam. Basically, it's a mini Swampert. And I know I keep saying it, but It's not even that small of a Swampert, if I'm being honest. It's more of like a 90% Swampert. Dustox. Good thing I have a Gardevoir and not care. But overall, they're both very good choices in my opinion. Probably some of the better water types. Definitely better than Wailmer in my opinion. Though I'm going to be sticking with my Swampert. Actually, at one point when I was thinking of using a Blaziken, I actually thought of using Barboach. And that's where I planned on getting it, was right next to the Windstrait. But I decided I'm just going to use a Swampert. Didn't last that long, of course, because I planned my team pretty fast afterwards. Okay, so we're on this route. This route, you can only find one new team member, or one new Pokemon. What's up, Thunderbolt kills you? That's Tropius. I don't know how it's properly said. Tropius sounds right, I guess. Stunspore missed, thank the Lord. That would have gone really out of hand. Like, ugh. Anyway, Tropius is a grass flying type, which sucks. Hands down, it's one of the worst types in the game. Grass flying just sucks in this game. Gets abused by rock types, gets abused by ice types, which, while grass types are relatively rare right now, we are going to see quite a few of them as we go along. It's also very slow in comparison to some of the Pokemon I just mentioned. Even Whiscash beats it in speed. Even my, what's it called? Swampert beats it. And, like, it doesn't evolve, and it's just tanky. Its attack stats aren't that great. Its move pool is very lacking in power. It's a decent move pool, just no big money move. Overall, I'm not a big fan of it. It's a great HM slave, so if we run into it, you'll see me catch it. Which, I might have to do off screen if I don't find it. I'd probably, after this part, I'll just go look for it and hopefully find it. I don't think it's that high in percentage, but you never know. But we'll go along with it. Overall, I'm just not a big fan of Tropius as a Pokemon, besides the fact it's a great HM slave. I'm checking these, even though I probably shouldn't. Alright, let's go back this way. Let's go around. I was just going to the item and he kind of avoided me. That's weird. Though, if I am to mention, probably my favorite of the three choices is probably Carvanha, actually. At this point, you're only going to run into, like, one more Dark type. And it's not that great in this generation. It can work, but overall, it's not that good for Gen 3. And so, if you really want a Dark type, Carvanha is really good. And, well, Sharpedo specifically. Just don't expect it to live, ever. It dies so fast. Which is weird, because I think it has, like, 70 HP, or, like, 80, or something like that. And it has 40 in each defense. Super strange. But, I am looking for Tropius to, of course, get some HMs on it. So I could fully have all HMs be covered by 2 HM slaves. You have Cut, Waterfall, Dive, Surf from Tentacool, and then you have Fly, Strength, Rock Smash in the form of Tropius. Which will, of course, I need a separate one for Flash, I think. I don't think Tropius can learn it, but there's only a few locations that use it. So if I really need it, I'll just pull Sableye out. I don't think there's actually... I think there's only like one more. Whoopsie, I lost. Yeah, you also have a Surskit, which is pretty rare for Emerald. Actually, mentioning that, there is a type of swarm feature I'll talk about. I haven't noticed anything on the TVs that I would really care about. It's always happened after an interview or anything, so it doesn't really matter. But overall, like, you can find swarms of Pokemon similar to Gold, Silver, and Crystal, except it's a little different. It's not based on the same things. Found a Super Repel. That would be useful. Not right now. So I think we have this guy and maybe 2 more on this route, and then we'll be done with the Mimic Circle, and we'll be pretty much on our way. We still have quite a bit to do. We'll be, of course, tackling a new area soon, which it's been a long time since we've met up against any evil team, let alone just a new place to explore. We're coming across the Weather Institute soon, which will be very good for us because I'm kind of tired of fighting in the wild randomly, and overall it's just a nice little block of no things going on story-wise, which, don't get me wrong, it's Pokemon. The story in these games very poor, but at least it's something to keep track of and make fun of, like exploding a volcano near no water to expand landmass. Yeah, still not sure on how that would have worked. Alright, so I think we should be able to kill this guy defeat him pretty quickly. And we'll check down south a little bit further, see if we missed the trainer. If not, we'll be heading north, and I believe at that point we'll be pretty much wrapping this up. This guy probably has a beautiful eye. Yeah, he does. The other guy had a similar variation on this team, except it was a Dustox and also a Caskin. But overall, we should be finishing this pretty fast. And bye-bye. I do like that we were getting near the 40s, which is good, because that's basically when our team is going to be set. We will have no big issues, because it also means that when I play catch up with Lily later, that it will be evolved when it does catch up. Alright, I think Swampert would be fun to mess with. We haven't really used it. Alright, let's go. Even though it's a bad idea because I could run into a Tropius and be screwed. Nothing? Alright. I thought you fly by catching a whole flock of bird Pokemon and hanging them. There's an HM move called Fly. I wish I'd known that a long time ago. Yep. And actually, you talked to this Wingull lady, and she doesn't mention Fly at all, which is funny because there's a bunch of Wingull. She mentions Cave of Origin, which I just always found really strange that she's here, right here. There's some water here. This is Route 119, so you can find Carvanha here as well. So if you really want to catch it this late, I don't think the levels differ that much, but it could be that they do. And we have a bunch of Magikarp. But you know what's really cool? Look at that. We have just Mudshot to deal with this. I'm going to end up switching to Manectric to take these down because I'm guessing he has a Gyarados. No, he has different Pokemon. Okay, cool. Manectric, and then we'll be done. We're going to electrocute some fish and jellyfish. Fisherman Chris. Not the greatest name. Thunderbolt. It's really nice to have Thunderbolt now. Spark would have worked, but Thunderbolt here because it's just a lot of extra power. Yes, it's not a lot. He caught a Feebas, which I was going to get into pretty soon, and I would love to, but we haven't had a possible way of doing it yet. I'll explain it probably in the next part or close around there. Carvanha, I don't want to get hit by Rough Skin, so we're gonna Thunderbolt it. It's overkill. It would have died to probably a quick attack even because Carvanha is that frail, but yeah. So I think that's going to be it for right now. So, of course, I'll hopefully see you guys next time as we hopefully make our way to the Weather Institute in a faster pace. Though we did finish the Mimic Circle, so what can you do? Hopefully, I'll see you guys next time. Do whatever you prefer, and of course, till then.